Hi, welcome. Hey, thanks for checking in today. Whenever you watch this or see it, thank you for taking a minute to spend with me, and I get to spend with you. Alexa, pause. Oh, it's Friday, November 7th, 2025, and I have been thinking a little bit about the future, and which is good. Like, we should all be taking a minute or two or three or five. And I know, like, most people do this around New Year's, like you make your New Year's resolutions, but really it was like a year ago for me that like this thing happened. And then a year later, here I find myself. And so it's easy for me to say in November, at least in this season of my life, that, I'm looking for next November, right? What does November 2026 look like for all of us? So I have some intentions, right? My intentions are da 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 da. I'm not really ready to share them. But with that, my intention for next week is to continue to do these lives. And Tuesday, I want to return to projections, what a projection is and what gaslighting is. It's specifically in the workplace. It's Workers' Justice Tuesday. So specifically in the workplace, gaslighting, and then how we can implement restorative justice and social justice in those kinds of situations to really enhance a kind of a collective and collaborative workspace for everyone. So that's Tuesday, and Wednesday we'll see what's going on with Wackadoodle Wednesdays. I have some update today on what's going on. It's not funny. Again, though, either laugh or cry. And I can do both pretty easily right now. So, hey. Okay. Before I get into that, so I posted, I strongly support that we are in a constitutional crisis. Our Congress is not in session working, especially the House of Representatives. The Senate is, but the House of Representatives is not in Congress. They're not working in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Because of the shutdown, right? So that presents a constitutional crisis. And the Supreme Court did rule in favor of your gender identity being on your birth certificate. I don't know why it matters. Like, what the hell? Who cares? Which reminds me that all of my content is for adults. It is not for children. Although I certainly would want some of this information to flow to children. None of my content is for children. So if by chance you see something like of mine and you're like, oh my gosh, that's not for children, remind me that post needs to be flagged for not for children. Okay. It is for adults. All right. So the Supreme Court did rule in favor of that. Now they're looking at in favor of your gender identity being on your birth certificate or on your passport. Okay. And now they're supposed to rule on whether or not Trump's tariffs are constitutional. So that is a different subject that we can touch on Wednesday, Wackadoodle Wednesdays. Hi, Maddie. You're not feeling good, are you? No. Okay, you really like that. Oh. Okay. So this happened this week too, right? I posted on Facebook about how I believe that we're in a constitutional crisis. I think I have evidence to support that. And I posted this to the Uinta County Republicans, and they gave me permission to post it in their chat, right? Their group chat. Yeah, Uinta County, Wyoming is beautiful. And I love saying the word Uinta. Niobrara too, but Uinta is really cool. Niobrara counties. So, right, people don't stop in Uinta County. They just drive through. and for good reason, right? So I posted my post about the Constitution being a white supremacy document in the Uintah County Republican Facebook post. And I got feedback. And it was rude. It was offensive. It was ugly. It was mean. It was not, there was no decorum. There was no diplomacy. There was no community. There was no collaboration. Imagine that. And I think to myself, and I think I even posted this more than once, that sit there. Sorry, my dog's looking for a place to sit, and my cat's not feeling well. In Uintah County, from the Republican Party, just a real lack of decorum, a real lack of statesmanship from anyone on that post. Just really name calling and aggressive behavior, and get her out of the state, and she must not be from here. And that's normal, right? But it shouldn't be. It should not be normalized. Like, that should not be okay behavior. And so I would say back to them, why would you even say something like that? How do you think what you're saying and the way you're responding to my comments represents Wyoming, right? Not good, folks. And so we wonder why Wyoming has the population it does. And it's because nobody is going to move into, very, very, very few people are going to move into Uintah County and feel accepted and feel welcomed and feel like they're part of a community, a small rural town, a small rural community that welcomes them. Just saying. I've lived here my whole life. No, I haven't lived here my whole life. I've lived in Los Angeles. I've lived in Colorado. I've lived in South Dakota. I've lived in Washington. I haven't lived in Wyoming my whole life, which brings me to the next thing on Facebook. And this week, and a little bit of next week, probably because I'm doing so well. So one person said, well, we really can't trace anything back if you look at my resume and stuff for maybe 15 years, right? There's the last 15 years, and it's actually less than that, but let's just say about 15 years. And then there's this chunk of time that's just kind of vacant. And then there's this other chunk of time way back in the day, in the 1980s and early 1990s, where what my profession was being a retail store manager for music stores. Like, I dug the music scene. So like, my first management job was at Budget Tapes and Records, right? Like, it was groovy. It was happening, and I was there. And then that evolved into management at bigger retail stores like Hastings Book, Music, and Video. And I cannot remember the other one. I can see it. I'll remember. All right. So I had this career. I had an early career in retail management, in music, videos, books, right? That was my early career. And then I made a choice, as many women and more men are making today. I made a choice to pause my career and stay at home with my kids and be a stay-at-home mom. And I homeschooled my kids. They still went to public school, by the way. All three of my children did both. They were kind of hybrid. They both attended public school for different activities, and they were home educated. And they were home educated through the internet, because the internet was just popping in the 2000s. And because of that, I was able to stay at home, use the internet to educate my children. Right on, right? I love that about me. I love that that's my story, but then there's this gap in my professionalism, not my professionalism, but my professional CV of those years. And I still worked, and I volunteered, and I did other things, and I stayed active in 4-H, mentoring groups with the homeschool moms. We did chess club, like we did sewing club, like we still were very active in other things. I just didn't work and get an income. Like, I did not do things that produced money flowing into me, into my home. And then, and then fast forward, and I find myself at a new chapter in my life, at a new season in my life. And I start a new professional direction, which took me, surprisingly, I thought I was going to be like more in HR, but surprisingly, it took me, whatever reason, into program management. And so probably, I don't know, because I had also written grants for various things while I was at home with my kids. All right. Anyway, so I ended up, and a really good friend helped me get a job, a good job. And so shout out to her. Anyway, so second career, right? Or even like just whatever, just this journey of life. And we can write it any way we want to, and we can rewrite it. So whatever the rules used to state, oh, you have to do this by this age. Oh, you have, like Eminem said, right? I love Eminem, but he was like, you get one chance, right? His song. Anyway, excuse me, I'm drinking my hot water and talking and not breathing. I never believed that you only get one chance. Never. I never believed you only get one shot. Our lives, especially now, are so long that you don't have to make up your mind about what you want to do unless you have like this inner driving that you're going to be a doctor and you're going to just do it. Hallelujah, and good for you. I know a couple people, young people that were my kids' age that both knew they wanted to be veterinarians. They knew it, and they are on their way, right? One is already a veterinarian. Good for you. That's not everybody's story. Not everybody knows when they're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 on what they want to do with the rest of their lives, right? We might have a direction. So you might study biology, or you might study chemistry, or you might study behaviors, right, in your early college years. But that doesn't necessarily, or education, that doesn't at all mean that's what you're going to spend your life doing, especially today in today's world, right? Okay. So I realize now that people see a gap in my life and that I need to share more about those years that I was a stay-at-home mom, so people understand that. All right. So moving to fast forward to today and this week. So I don't do therapy. Like, no, like, don't ask me to go to the therapist. I'm not going to go. Right. I'm not saying anybody else shouldn't go, whatever, but make your choices carefully, right? Somebody can get licensed as a therapist and not have any real credentials to be able to do that, other than they want to help people, and they actually cause more harm than good. And that's me saying that, right? If you feel like something's happening in your life and you need professional help, call 988 and then look for a psychologist or a psychiatrist in your community. And even if that psychiatrist has a therapist in their office, that's okay, because that therapist has that psychiatrist or psychologist PhD to help guide them, right? But don't just anyway, so I go see a tarot reader. Tarot. I don't know how you say it. Tarot? I don't know. Tarot. And one of the things this tarot reader provided was to take a break. Take a break. Like, you need to stop what you're doing. Take a break. And I was like, I don't know what that, I mean, that's not for me, because I am not producing a solid income at this moment. And then I realized that for the last 2 months, I have been getting up every morning and doing, like, going. I have to get this done. I have to get this done. I have to get this done. Including, and very specifically, searching for income sources, right? So got to get up, I've got to look for ways to have income generated. And so this week I decided to take a break because my tarot reader said so. And that it would be okay, and give myself permission. And so one of the things I did and do something that I'd love to do. And I've always loved to do. So one of the thing I did was the thing I've been doing all week has been to try and disperse the darkness and tears of the kingdom. And if you're one of my children, you're going to know what that means. Because one of the things that I have always brought with me is the love of Nintendo, the love of playing Nintendo, the love of playing Mario. I mean, I was playing Mario. Like, we would not have the games that we have today had we not, those of us who could, played Mario when Nintendo first came out. And I'm not even Nintendo 64, I'm Nintendo, right? And just Mario going across the screen, jumping and jumping, and sometimes punching and jumping. And if you did not finish that level, you had to start all over again at the beginning. It was not like you could save in the middle. Like, you had to just play until you finished the level. And oh my gosh, like sometimes that would be so hard, but then you would finish the level and it would be amazing and you'd get to go to the next level. All right, so with that then, so Mario 64, or not Mario, Nintendo 64, Frogger, right? Okay, Nintendo 64, yes. Yes. We too, yes. We too, you, yes. Switch, yes. New Switch, yes. Like all of them, all of them. And my children have experienced all of them. That's one of the things that I honestly gave to my children. I brought the Nintendo into the relationship that begot my children, right? So Zelda. I have been playing Zelda all week, trying to disperse the darkness in the underground. And it has taken me all week because it's dark and you don't know where you're going. And unless you have the brightness clothing, it's hard to see. And so I do have all of the 4 weapons, the 4 seasons or whatever. So I do have like wind, fire, water, earth, right? I do have those 4. I do have the Master Sword. So now I'm just kind of dispersing the darkness underneath because I still need to fill up my my computer thing. So I have all the tools on it. I have also been doing things like home maintenance, right? Why does this happen? Like the cupboard door gets loose and you have to tighten those screws. And I needed to paint my back door. I painted my back door. And I just did other things I did look for work. Like that's always, like that's number one. If I don't do that, then I have not done what I needed to do during the week. So I used to homeschool my kids. There's this Thomas Jefferson curriculum idea that you do where you can have your children read books about what Thomas Jefferson wrote, or you can have your children read what Thomas Jefferson wrote. Yeah, it's a different kind of curriculum. There was some not like no homeschooling, non-homeschooling, unschooling, I think is what it's called. There was some unschooling done. Like I did do unschooling. So as far like I could probably do a public presentation on my experience with homeschooling over 20 years. Aha, that brings me to my dream. Look at this. An M&M, you never just get one. If that's a scarcity mentality. I seriously have to look at the homeschooling again. Okay, you can either have a scarcity mentality or you can have an abundance mentality. There either is not enough or there's plenty. There's an abundance. We have plenty, all right? So you don't really just get one chance at whatever in life. You really don't. Look at people who have lived life for a long time. They will tell you that. Like you get multiple choices at multiple things throughout your life. It's a matter of if you want to step up and take them or not. So my dream that I had Monday, because I have multiple ideas coming to me constantly, not constantly, okay, is my dream on Monday about organizing stuff is not anything subconscious at all. It is my subconscious saying, here's another business idea. Here's another income idea. Low startup costs, almost minimal, like advertising, but I can do that word of mouth. Billing, I want to have that ready to go, right? This is how much I charge. But to start my own cleanup business and not cleaning houses, that's not what we do. You're storing it, we're sorting it. You are storing it. We are sorting it. And I can start to hire people. Okay. Ideas are not limited. All right. If somebody out there is listening to this at some time and going, oh my God, that's a great idea, I should take it. Go ahead. Go ahead. I give it to you freely. Another one will come along, and I might do this, I might not. You're storing it, we're sorting it. So no startup costs, maybe boxes. But that could be written into the charge. So, but still, word of mouth, putting up little cards on just local places saying, hey, you need help going through your storage? Call me. This is how much I charge an hour. And these are my references. Okay. I am staying on top of the news. Not as much. I'm really trying to dispel the darkness in the underground. For those of you who know, you know. On the global stage, this is kind of a fun thing to do, like just record myself and even doing it live. Like, I look at the number of people who just record things and they're just sitting in their space by themselves, looking into a camera, recording themselves in the invitation and the welcoming of others. At some point, we'll watch what it is that they've recorded. Again, what I've recorded is for adults only. Some of the stuff I'm posting currently is like from a few years ago, like 5 years ago when I was on TikTok. I am not on TikTok anymore. And we can talk about that on a Wackadoodle Wednesday. But so some of what I'm posting is like from 5 years ago. So it's like, wow, you don't look like that anymore. No, I don't. I don't. And you know what? I may not look like this 5 years from now. I probably won't. None of us will. None of us will look the same 5 years from now. All right. So news, global stage, the COP30 climate talks are underway in Brazil. Trump's not there. With heated debates over funding for adaptation in vulnerable nations. We used to be a nation of people who wanted to provide, protect, be collaborative, watch out for the underdog, cheer for the underdog, right? We're not that anymore. We seem to not care about vulnerable nations like the Sudan. The national buzz, the fallout from the government shutdown is still rippling. Federal workers are catching up on delayed paychecks, and debates over ACA tax credits remain front and center. I voiced my opinion about ACA, the Affordable Care Act. It's good. It protects people. It does provide insurance. Wyoming notes, there's chatter about new energy products near Casper and Cheyenne, plus local organizing around education funding. The Laramie scene. The university is gearing up for winter events and community groups are planning holiday drives. Talked to my cousin this week, Cindy, one of my oldest, dearest friends, confidants. She gave me some notes on what I'm doing. She was very encouraging. She was like, keep going, just do this, and that. She gave me some notes. One of the things she said is when I'm reading stuff, it needs to be right in front of my camera, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm trying to get it as far over as I can when I read, but I don't know if I can do it and get it right in front of the camera and still be able to see it. She was sweet. It was good to catch up with her. Caught up with some other people this week. Going to catch up with some more folks next week. Yeah. Yeah. Dream big, folks. Don't be afraid to dream. And don't think there's only this one chance. There's not. Just not. All right, let me pull my affirmator before I have Alexa play us out. So I'm going to shuffle the cards 3 times. Maddie, could you be? I think it's this other food that's making you sick. I changed Maddie's food, and I think it's making him. Maddie's they. All right, I'm just going to do this. Authenticity. 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 Authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, I will feel it. Whatever needs to be said, I will say it. Whoever doesn't get it doesn't have to get it. But at least they know it because I've said it. And that's way better than leaving a passive-aggressive note about it. I know that you can stop this and you can replay it. You can also speed through it. But I'm going to read it again. Authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, I will fill it. Whatever needs to be said, I will say it. Whoever doesn't get it doesn't have to get it. But at least they know it because I've said it. And that's way better than leaving a passive-aggressive note about it. Alexa, will you play some music for me?
Sure. Here's a custom mix just for you.
Take that home to lunch, to dinner. Whatever. Like, have you eaten? Have you eaten? Have you eaten? Let me make you something to eat. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich, okay?
Used to spend my nights out ballroom. There's no word beyond love back home.
I have some things to do, and then I'm going to go dispel the darkness a little bit more. You guys take care. I love you. Bye.